And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. There's one less insurance provider available to homeowners right here in the state of Texas. This comes 1 month after Hurricane Beryl swept through our state, costing the state more than $4 billion in damages. Progressive's CEO Tricia Griffith says the move is temporary. In a letter to shareholders, Griffith says, quote, reducing the impact from weather-related volatility is strategically important. It's still unclear if people who have a policy will have their coverage canceled or renewed with the company. Joining us to talk about it, insurance agent KRIV Castillo. Glad to have you here on The Factor Uncensored. So this may be devastating to some people, not knowing where their future lies with a company, in many cases, you know, and with homeowners that you may have been in for decades.
And it happens. It all has to do with all these weather-related events that are happening. And you mentioned Hurricane Beryl. So then we had the hurricane a month ago, and then in May there was tornadoes in the area. So with this, what is it, Hurricane Hannah and some other weather-related events, we had those April-May floodings a few years ago. Then there was a hurricane after that. So all of these weather-related events have caused insurance companies to have to increase their rates because of to cover these natural disasters. So they have to increase their premiums or have to back out. And it's only to protect themselves and also the homeowner, because what if this coverage continues and then you have a claim and the insurance company has no money to pay you? You know, they go bankrupt. And
have we seen that in recent times where a major or a stable insurance company, home insurer, has had to shut its doors because they couldn't afford to pay all the claims?
There's been a few companies that have had
and
to
we're
do
not
that.
asking for specifics,
right,
but
and
you're
I'm like,
saying yes.
Off the top of my head,
yes,
I can't think of one, but yes, it does happen.
And in this age, and I don't want to get you into politics of climate change,
yes,
you know, insurance companies are going to have to realize either they're going to have to step up or step out.
Yes, I see that every day, both as an agent and a consumer. I see these rate increases and I see both sides. These rates are crazy, or, you know, how can I pay for this? Or I talk to my customers and it's like, you know, Karimi, what about these rates? You know, I can't pay $4,000, or I can't pay this 3% deductible, but these are the rates that the insurance company is giving them. These are their options. You know, the only way they can afford these premiums is either they pay more or they go without insurance. You know, which one do you want?
And
it's
of
a hard choice to make.
And there are also state-backed insurance companies, or like Texas, they have their own home insurance company. If someone can't get commercial insurance, or they decide to pick this, are they ready for this? Is the state of Texas ready for this?
Yes and no, and I say that because it all goes back to the rates and the area that you live in. So here, we're coastal communities. We're along the coast, so everything that is here is, we're at a higher risk of these hurricanes or any related event, weather-related event hitting us harder. There's floods. More and more we see flooding in Houston and all these surrounding counties. So all of these things are affecting us. And yes, it does go back to
Is
Mother
that
Nature.
why we have seen the federal government do flood insurance instead of the average private insurance company like a State Farm or Geico?
Yes, so FEMA is good for everyone to use. I always recommend people always buy flood insurance. Even if you don't live in a flood area, just buy it. You're gonna spend $400, $500, $600 and you'll be okay. If your house floods, you're okay. If it doesn't flood, then you just spend $600, but you know you're okay. But yes, so Texas Fair Plan Association is what the state of Texas uses. And yes, they're prepared, but again, you're gonna look at those high rates or maybe those high deductibles. So something to keep in mind. You gotta pick your battles.
All right. Thank you, man, for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored and the valuable information.